Hi, welcome to Flutter Junction. Today we are going to build story view in Flutter. Before moving on, if you haven't subscribed the channel, please subscribe it and press the bell icon to get notified on upcoming videos. And before going inside, let's see first how our final application shall look. This is our final application. There is a dashed animation and we have the stories, and when clicking we have our story, and we can go back and forth and close on this close icon. For that we are going to use two packages. One is story view and other is dash circle. You can find this package link on the description below. Please find it, and you need to add these packages on YAML file. I have already added the dependencies, and after adding you need to run a pop get, and you will have your dependencies installed. And if you haven't created a project, please create the project by pausing the video, following the link above in this video. And if you have created, let's move on. For that I am going to remove this class. We are going to create our own home page. In lib folder I am going to create homepage dot, and this is our stateful widget. Import material from Flutter, and class homepage extends the stateful widget, and we need to create the state of this homepage. For that we need to override state of homepage, and we create it from create state method and name it homepage state, and then close it. And class homepage state extends the state of our homepage, and it takes, we need to override our build method. Context, and we return our widget scaffold. Scaffold is the screen of the application. This is the screen of the application. This is the scaffold, and we have our app bar, where it takes app bar widget, and we give title with text widget text, and we name it story view, and we make it a const. It is a constant value. Then refactor it, and before running we need to import our homepage in the main.dat file. That, and then we call here our homepage. Let's override our key. Right, now we reload our, before loading let's add some body would be text hi, and then reload our emulator. We have our body hi here. Right, now before moving making animation, we need to import the with and the trigger state provider mixin. It's configured to only tick when the current tree is enabled. And if we have only one animation controller, we can use single ticker provider state mixin also. Sorry, it should be single. We can use single ticker provider state mixin, and if we have multiple animation controller, then we can use ticker provider state mixin. We are going to use ticker provider state mixin here. And then let's create some variables. Let animation, that will be our double gap. It is the gap of the dash circle, and then other would be let animation, and it is also double, would be base from where our animation starts, the point of animation. Let animation, and then it is also double, and reverse to reverse our animation. And then finally we create our constructor animation controller and name it controller. And for that we need to initialize our variables and init state, and we need to override the init state. Alright, super dot init state, and we initialize the controller first. Controller equals animation controller this, and our duration will be const duration in seconds. I will give 10, and we pass this vsync to the animation controller to create the animation controller in a class that uses this mixin. That means with this animation controller we use this trigger provider state mixin, and it is related to this class, and the duration of the animation, that means how long our animation runs. And then base our from where our animation starts, pop animation, we are going to use pop animation, and our parent will be controller, and our cog would be cog start is out. And whenever we need to have a non-linear animation, we use this curve animation, and it is especially used if we want different curves when animation is moving forward or backward. That means if we want different animations now for backward and forward, then we are going to use curve animation. And then reverse, the reverse of the application, and we use twin of double, and it takes two parameters, begin from where it starts and end where our animation ends, and then we animate the reverse from the base. And the twin provides the linear interpolation between the beginning and ending value. It provides the linear interpolation between the beginning and ending value, that is 0.02 minus 1.0. And then gap would be our, we also use twin anyway, twin for interpolation. Double, begin from 0.02, okay, begin from 15.02, end in 0.0. that means our dashed animation, that means it starts from the gap 15 and become the circular solid gap, and then we animate from base dot, and then we add listener, and then we set state. That means we change whenever our state changes, then we change the state. And then we need also, right, the gap is the gap between the dots, and this dot means we have here two dot here. This syntax means add listener method is called with the return value from animate. That means whenever we get the value from the animate, and then it is called, and then we forward our controller forward, so that's our animation starts. Now let's define our body. Right, and our body widget would be size box, height of media query dot of context dot size dot height, and media query provides the height of the screen or the mobile app, mobile screen, and we only need the 0.12% of the height. And then we have got the child would be, I would give padding would be const inserts from all, I would give 10. Also padding also have child will be our list view, dot builder. That means we are going to build the list of our images, list view, and it takes item builder. In item builder 6, one context and other is index, and we have to return value in the item builder. For that, let's import our model value images. I have already have my images. You can use your own images. You can use any images as per your need, as per your wish, and then we return padding, and it would be const is dot all. I would give 8.0. Use it, and we have our padding child column. So let's refactor it, and our list builder, we give the item count. Item count would be the model of the length of the array. Okay. And string wrap, that means it use the minimum strings the items of the list view. and set is true, and then column, and our main axis size would be this size dot mean. That means it takes the minimum value of the column. And main axis alignment, that means the horizontal alignment. Starts from the start, and cross axis alignment would be also start. For column, main axis would be vertical, and cross axis would be horizontal, and it is opposite in the row. And our child would be container, and I would like to align my elements. Alignment dot center. I like to center the item, the child of container, and the child rotation we have this rotation transition widget animates the rotation of the widget, and rotation, and it has turns parameter we need to pass from the base, and it has child our dash circle, before child gap size, the gap between the dash or lines in the dash circle, gap dot value, whatever the gap is from the animation from 15 to 0, so it changes and it takes the value from here in its state. And our dashes means number of dots or dash we want on the dash circle, and color would be theme dot text dot our primary color, and child would be rotation transition, turns from reverse, and then child would be our, let's keep padding to the image, padding 5, and then child circle, that means our image would be circular of radius 25, and the background image would be we load from the model. So network image model, that means our images. Right, let's reload it. It may take some time. We have the error here. We didn't have the error. Okay, let initialization, that means our base has not been initialized. This base has not been initialized. We have to hot reload it because our animation has not been started before, and it is performing the hot restart. and we have our images, like it is vertical scrolling. We need to change the axis of the scroll direction, axis dot horizontal, and then we again restart it. And we have our images on linear form, horizontal form. Let's restart it and see the animation. We have our animation and the images are loaded. Now we are going to create the story view when clicking these images. For that, we create the new file, story underscore view underscore page dot tar, and we import material from Flutter. And our story view page also is going to be stateful widget. Class story view page extends stateful widget, and then it also overrides the state of story view page and create state, and our story view state would be underscore story view page state, and then we create the story view page state, and it extends the state of the story view page. Let's add key constructor here, and then we are going to pass some parameters from home page on clicking the item, this item, and that would be our the index of the application, index of the image, list of string, and that would be our images, and in this final, so we have to initialize them, right? And then we override our build method, override widget build context and return scaffold, but we don't need a bar here, and our body would be safe area, and safe area prevents our view going hiding inside the notification bar. That means this is the notification bar, and our with safe area it excludes our view going top to the notification area. And our child would be stack text children. It is showing the error here. Oh, PUILD, it should be built. And our first item stack children would be story view. Story view, it takes story items and the controller, and we have to create the controller here for the story. Final controller equals story controller, We'll close it, and we have to import the story view from the story view, and our story items would be in array, and our controller would be story controller. And our story items comes from the home page, so we have to add click listener here. For that, I will wrap it with a widget and name it inkwell, and on tab I navigate to the other page, that means story view, and to navigate, navigator dot push it takes context and a route. One is context, and our route would be material page route, and it takes builder, it is empty, and then we return story view page, story view page, and we have to pass index in the model, and then close it. We have passed index and the model, that means our images, to this story view page, and our items should be, and we have array of items. And before moving this, let me define about material page route. Material page route replace the entire screen with the platform specific transition. That means we have Flutter. From Flutter we can build multiple applications for Windows or a mobile app or Linux. That means for mobile app, if we use the material page route, and if we have Android mobile, it has on type of animation, it follows the Android animation, and if we run it from the iOS, and it provides the iOS animation. So we use material page route and story view page. And for index equals widget dot index, and we are using the widget dot index because we want only to load images that are created in the list. That means if we click the second item of the image, that means after the second items other stories are shown, the first item is not shown. So we are using the index of what we have clicked, and then I will less than widget dot model dot length, that means to the length of the model, and we increment our loop, and we return story item, and the duration would be, sorry, we are not using story item, story item dot inline image. We are going to use inline image, and our URL would be widget dot model dot the index of the model. That means the index, if index is 0, then we are going to load this image. If 1, this, like that, and our controller would be story controller, and I want to give image fit to fit the image on the box fit dot content. That means the original size of the original image is on, and we to have caption here, and our caption would be text the text widget. I would say caption here. I am going to use static. You can use the value from the API. or you can use you don't have to use it. Style I'm going to use style here. Text style, color would be color start white, the caption image would be white, text would be, and background colors dot black, and the font size of 17. Right now we have other also parameters in the story view, story items and the control other than controller and story items. We have on story show, you can run the function any process on. When you want to run any process when the story is showing, you can use this method. And if you want to show some process, you can use the onComplete method. And progress position, that means the progress bar would be, I would like to attend it on the top, progress position the top, and repeat. Let's say I don't want to repeat the occurrence of the story, and I will give it false and inline. So that means our story items are inline in a row. And then let's restart it. And we have our animation. And after animation, when clicking on image, we have our story view, and we can go back and forth. We have our story view, and we don't have any icon to close. Let's edit on the stack. After okay, we are going to align our icon. Alignment dot top right. I will have to align it on the right, and then child const icon. We are getting error here. Okay, we have to comma. We put comma here, and icon. Our icon would be icon start cancel, and color would be color start gray, and the size of 40. It is the const value, so I am going to use const here. We don't have to use this. Right, after clicking this icon, we have to close the story view. So again we have to add the gesture detection here, and wrap with a widget. I will name it inkwell, and on tab I am going to close it. That means navigator dot pop context, right, and then restart it. We have our animation, the stories, and when clicking the third image, we are going to click. We have 1 2 3 4 5 6 images there. I am going to click the third item, and 1 2 3 4. We have only 4 items in the story, and when clicking it, we are navigating out. Right. Today we learned how to create story view in Flutter. If you have any queries regarding this video, please ping me in comment section, or you can mail also at flutterjunction@gmail.com. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share it with your friends. Thank you.